You've probably heard the usual advice. Eat more greens, cut back on salt, exercise regularly, and believed that's enough to keep strokes at bay. But I want you to picture this ordinary, peaceful moment. You're sitting on your favorite couch, reading a book to your 6-year-old grandchild who just got home from school. Outside the window, the late afternoon sun is casting a soft, golden light. Then suddenly, the right side of your mouth starts to feel numb. Your right arm doesn't quite respond. You try to say something, but the words just won't come out. I'm a doctor who works with patients after they've had a stroke, and sadly, I've seen this story far too often. These people weren't careless. In fact, many were extremely health conscious. They ate clean, took their medications right on time. Some even practiced Tai Chi every morning. But in just one split second, a stroke stole their ability to speak, to walk, and sometimes even to remember their own family. Why does this happen? Because some things that seem healthy can quietly become dangerous, especially once you pass the age of 55. Your body starts to shift. Hormones behave differently at night. Blood pressure can drop without warning. A food that's super healthy, if eaten at the wrong time or combined with the wrong things, can throw off your metabolism. And then, the quietest danger of all, tiny blood clots begin to form, slipping into delicate vessels in the brain. But here's the good news. You don't need to live in fear or become overly strict. You just need to understand what's really going on. Adjust a few key habits, and most importantly, start nourishing your body from the inside out. In the next section, I'll walk you through the surprising and critical factors that play a major role in stroke prevention and daily brain protection. I remember one of my patients, Alan, 63 years old, early retirement, lived a clean life, barely touched fast food. But there was one thing he didn't notice. Every morning, he had a glass of orange juice, a few slices of whole grain toast, and a big banana. Sounds healthy, right? But for the brain, that's a thick stream of sugar rushing into the bloodstream. Our bodies, especially after age 55, become more sensitive to carbohydrates. When you eat too much starch and sugar, even from natural sources, your body produces insulin to help move that sugar into your cells. But if this keeps happening too often, day after day, the body begins to tune out insulin. That's called insulin resistance. And once insulin resistance kicks in, sugar isn't handled efficiently. It lingers in the blood, sticking molecules together, making your blood thicker, stickier, and eventually forming clots. You might not feel anything for years, but small signs often creep in, like feeling hungry not long after eating, or sluggish after lunch. Maybe your waistline is growing, even though the scale doesn't change. These are warning signals from insulin, and your brain is silently bearing the brunt of it. Here's the good news. Just by reducing carbs, not cutting them out completely, and swapping in healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, and nuts, your body can slowly return to balance. Your brain gets cleaner fuel, your blood flows more smoothly, and your stroke risk begins to drop. If you're on diabetes or blood pressure meds, don't rush into slashing your carbs. Talk with your doctor first, and make changes gently. Because sometimes, the way you eat is the strongest medicine you've never been told about. Food doesn't just feed your body. It fuels the blood that reaches your brain in every sense of the word. Potassium from leafy greens, the forgotten nutrient. Here's something interesting. When a stroke patient arrives at the hospital, besides checking their blood pressure and heart rate, we quietly take note of their potassium levels. Why? Because potassium works like a natural brake for your blood vessels. It helps prevent them from tightening too much, keeps your heart rhythm steady, and thins the blood just enough to reduce clotting. A lot of people think cutting back on salt is enough. But the truth is, sodium is just one side of the story. Potassium is the missing counterbalance. If your daily potassium intake is too low, even a low-sodium diet might not stop your blood pressure from fluctuating like ocean tides. One of my patients, Ruth, 67 years old, followed a strict diet. No sugar, no fat, no salt. But she still experienced nightly leg cramps, fast heartbeat after climbing stairs, and frequent tingling in her hands and feet. A blood test showed her potassium levels were below normal. All we did was add a small bowl of steamed spinach to her lunch, and sometimes a handful of bok choy with dinner. After just 2 weeks, she was sleeping better. The cramps disappeared, and her blood pressure became noticeably more stable. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and bok choy are packed with potassium. But how you prepare them matters. Avoid overcooking or pairing them with salty foods like soy sauce or cheese, since sodium can cancel out potassium's benefits. Light steaming or blending them into a smoothie with low-sugar fruits is often the smarter choice. That said, if you have kidney disease or issues with electrolyte balance, adding too much potassium could backfire. In those cases, always talk to your doctor before changing your diet. Leafy greens don't just cool the body, they gently soften every stream of blood flowing quietly to your brain each day. The brain, though it may sound abstract, is actually one of the body's most energy-hungry organs. It makes up just 2% of your body weight, but uses over 20% of the oxygen you breathe every day. And oxygen, as you might know, is a double-edged sword. It keeps us alive, but it also produces free radicals, rogue molecules, that silently damage our cells. This is especially harmful for nerve cells, which are delicate and have limited ability to regenerate. That's where vitamin E, especially in its natural tocopherol form, steps in like a quiet gatekeeper. It's not a trendy superfood blowing up online. But to the brain, vitamin E acts as a crucial shield, slowing the silent buildup of damage over the years. I once had a patient named Gerald, a 70-year-old gentleman, who asked me, "Doc, I eat my greens every day. Why does my mind still feel foggy and unfocused?" When we looked into his diet, we realized he rarely consumed quality plant oils, nuts, or any natural sources of vitamin E. We made a simple change: a small handful of almonds each morning, cold-pressed sunflower oil at lunch, and a daily capsule of the right tocopherol. 3 months later, he came back with a smile and said, "I don't need the dictionary to remember my dog's name anymore." That said, vitamin E should never be taken in excess. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin, be sure to consult your doctor before supplementing. Also, choose the natural form, dalpha tocopherol, over the synthetic one, DL-alpha, which your body absorbs less effectively. The brain doesn't scream when it hurts, but without enough vitamin E, it quietly accumulates tiny scars, one forgotten word at a time. One of the most fascinating things I've observed in stroke patients is the noticeable difference once they switch to a natural ketone-producing diet. Your brain, though used to running on glucose, actually prefers ketones. Ketones are a clean source of fuel your body makes when you eat fewer carbs or go through short periods of fasting. Why are they called clean fuel? Because when your brain burns glucose, sugar, it produces a lot of waste-free radicals that increase inflammation, make your blood thicker, and raise the risk of clots. But when it runs on ketones, there's less waste, less inflammation, and better mental performance, like switching from an old gas engine to a quiet, efficient hybrid. I once treated Ellen, 68, who had suffered a mild stroke. Even after recovering, she still felt foggy every afternoon, with scattered memory. Instead of increasing her meds, we tried gentle, intermittent fasting. She ate only between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. and added healthy fats to her meals. Just 4 weeks later, she beamed, "Doctor, I can play Sudoku again." You don't need to follow a strict ketogenic diet. Simply cutting back on refined carbs, adding a bit of virgin coconut oil or MCT oil, or doing a 12 or 14-hour overnight fast can help your body start making ketones for your brain. That said, if you have type 1 diabetes, liver disease, or are on strong blood sugar meds, always consult your doctor before trying any form of ketone boosting. When you fuel your brain differently, it rewards you with clarity, lighter blood flow, and a deeper sense of presence. The human body has an incredible ability to heal itself, but that ability only truly kicks in when we give it a break from constant digestion. That's the core idea behind intermittent fasting. When you eat throughout the day, your insulin levels stay consistently high. Insulin doesn't just regulate blood sugar, it also affects inflammation and your body's ability to clear out damaged cells. By limiting your eating to a specific window, say, eating within 8 hours, and fasting for the remaining 16, your insulin levels drop, which activates autophagy, your body's natural recycling system. During autophagy, old damaged proteins and cell debris are removed, especially in brain and blood vessel cells. A study published in Cell Metabolism found that intermittent fasting improves endothelial function, the health of the inner lining of blood vessels. This is a crucial factor in preventing blood clots and strokes. For seniors, fasting doesn't have to be extreme. Simply avoiding food after 6 p.m. or sticking to 2 main meals a day at regular times can give your body enough time to rest and trigger its natural protective mechanisms. However, if you're on blood sugar medication, blood pressure medication, or have a history of eating disorders, it's important to consult your doctor before starting any fasting routine. Bottom line, intermittent fasting isn't just about weight loss. It's a biological tool to help your body recover, clear your blood vessels, and protect your brain from silent damage. Here's something not many people know. Blood clots don't just show up overnight. They quietly build up over time from thicker blood, from chronic vessel inflammation day after day. But here's the good news. Our bodies also come equipped with silent protectors. Among the best, omega-3s, especially DHA, and one humble kitchen remedy, garlic. I once worked with Mary, a 72-year-old woman who had suffered a mini-stroke, a TIA. She didn't want to rely on medications for the rest of her life, so she looked for natural ways to support her health. We started with something simple. Each morning, she took a DHA-rich fish oil capsule. A few times a week, she roasted garlic to eat with her veggies, or mashed it into salad dressings. After 3 months, her inflammation markers dropped. her blood pressure stabilized, her memory improved. And most telling of all, microvessels in her retina, which reflect the condition of blood vessels throughout the body, showed significant improvement. DHA, a major component of omega-3s, is part of your brain's very structure. It helps soften blood vessels, supports healthy plaque balance, and keeps blood flowing smoothly like a quiet stream through a forest. DHA also reduces platelet stickiness, the very first step in clot formation. As for garlic, when it's prepared properly, lightly roasted or crushed to activate allicin, it gently thins the blood, lowers LDL cholesterol, and slows the oxidation of fats that stick to vessel walls. If you're taking blood thinners, talk to your doctor before adding high doses of garlic or fish oil. For best absorption, omega-3s should be taken with a fatty meal. And with garlic, just 2 to 3 cloves a week used the right way can work like nature's prescription for your heart and brain. Sometimes what protects you from a stroke isn't in your medicine cabinet. It's already on your dinner table. Breathing life back into the brain. When it comes to stroke recovery, most people think of medications, machines, or complex medical treatments. But 2 of the most basic yet powerful things are often overlooked: deep breathing and simply moving your legs. Your body was built to move. When you walk, your heart beats more rhythmically. Your blood vessels push blood throughout your body, even into the tiniest capillaries in the brain. It's the simplest way to deliver oxygen to each brain cell, something no medication can truly replace. I once worked with Mr. Walter, 74 years old, living alone, recovering from a mild stroke that left him slow to speak and forgetful. We didn't start with any complicated rehab, just a 15-minute walk around the garden each morning, breathing deeply, slowly, and being truly present with each step. Within 2 weeks, his speech became more fluid. After a month, he could recite a poem he used to teach his son. 30 years ago. And if you or someone you love is recovering from a stroke, one therapy worth exploring is hyperbaric oxygen therapy. This treatment involves breathing pure oxygen in a pressurized chamber, helping oxygen penetrate deep into damaged tissue, especially areas of the brain affected by low blood flow. Many patients have reported improved movement, sharper memory, and clearer thinking after combining this therapy with light daily activity. Of course, hyperbaric oxygen isn't a replacement for standard treatment, and it must be prescribed by a doctor. But gentle walks, deep breaths, and letting nature's oxygen do its job, that's something you can start today, no prescription needed. Every step you take is an invitation for blood to return to your brain. Every deep breath is a chance for life to begin again. Many people think stroke is something sudden like an accident, something random you can't see coming. But the truth is, stroke is often the result of small habits quietly repeated every single day. A little too much starch here. A glass of juice that seems healthy. A late dinner, a sluggish morning. These things don't knock you down right away, but they slowly thicken your blood vessels. They quietly steal oxygen from your brain until one final thread snaps. The beautiful part. You can turn it all around starting today. No need for extreme diets. No need to fear everything you once loved. Just begin with a low-sugar breakfast. Add a handful of greens at lunch. Take a short walk after dinner. And give your body time to heal because it already knows how. You can't erase the past, but you can begin writing a new future for your brain. You don't have to wait until your memory fades to start caring for your brain. Start while you still remember, because that, too, is a gift. At the end of this video, I'll be sharing a free class designed to boost your immune system and help your body recover naturally from within. If you're curious about staying healthy without relying on pills, don't miss it. We've all heard the advice: avoid pollution, eat clean, sleep well, to stay healthy. But there's one powerful piece that often gets overlooked: your inner defense system. When your immune system is strong, it doesn't just fight off colds and viruses. It also helps your body quietly repair deeper issues like inflammation in blood vessels, clotting imbalances, or hormone disruptions. That's why I created a free course called How to Bulletproof Your Immune System. It's short, clear, and packed with everything you need to. Understand how your immune system changes as you age. Spot the hidden habits that weaken your immunity without you realizing. Learn how to adjust your diet, daily routine, and lifestyle to naturally reactivate your body's own defense system. You don't need to chase perfection. You just need to give your body the right conditions to do what it already knows. This course is completely free and open to everyone, especially those in midlife or recovering from health events like stroke, diabetes, or high blood pressure. Click the link in the description. Enroll today and give your brain the deep care it deserves from the inside out.